because they just were worldwide sensations and they just came out of nowhere. So I would say they're number one. But then I always like to talk about the Isley Brothers because these groups were trying to kind of emulate the style, the sound of the Isley Brothers. And then when you flip over to hip hop, most sample group almost in history is the Isley Brothers too.
Yeah.
So I always want to give them like an honorable mention, but I would say for the 90s, Boys to Men, they just had so many hits and so many, and the TLC would be a close second because they talked about issues. Like they were the only group in history to have a number one song that talked about domestic abuse and AIDS.
Yeah.
And they went for it in waterfalls.
Yeah. And I think, what was I about to say? To that point with Boyz II Men and their impact, they also impact the pop side. Yes. Because Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, all of them, they were the production company, the agents. The whole idea was do what Boyz II Men did.
Yes. Copy
like
them.
We want you to be Boyz II Men. Copy them. Copy Boyz II Men. We want the choreography. We want the matching outfits. You have to be like Boyz II Men.
I mean, what you said? You said Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, 98 Degrees, All for One. Like, look at all the boy moves. All four, 5 of them. That did well. Those groups did well. Just copy
because they copied Boyz II Men.
Boyz II Men was the blueprint.
Yes.
Right. And Jodeci was a country cousin from down south.
Yeah. Yes. From down south. But Jodeci, woo. Like, see, that's the thing. Like, Jodeci, they came from the church. So first of all, they came from the church and the half of them grew up together, the other half came together. You don't really see that with groups nowadays. They don't really come from the church. They're kind of manufactured. You see all these reality shows where they manufacture groups. You have to at least grow up together or come from something more in common to stick together during the hard times.
Well, I think that's because that's what defines a boy band is you have just grabbed people. And to your point earlier, you were like, these groups were from a specific region or they were local. No, we got somebody from Tallahassee. We got somebody from Nebraska. We got somebody from here. We got somebody from there. So there's no specific culture. Like everybody's kind of bringing their own thing, but you are being told you have to be this. So it doesn't matter where you come from. So if you come from country roots, like literally country music roots, it doesn't matter because we want you to do this. So if you want to be successful, you have to sing this specific way and do it like that.
Yeah.
So if you had 90s, if you had to save one group from the 90s, what group would it be? And like we had to put a time capsule together. It's like this one R&B group gets to display for the 90s to the future 200 years from now kids.
In Vogue. I think they were good. Do you listen to the beginning of Hold On when they're like, oh my goodness. I think that if they had just 2 more albums or 3 more albums, they could have gotten to the level of like a TLC or Boyz II Men. Like they were kind of gone too soon because of issues within the group, but they
because of Dawn. You can say it. It's okay. You don't. It's all right. You maybe you.
She
can't
said
say
it for you.
Like maybe you can't say it, but
we'll say issues in the group because they had so much potential and they could sing. Like they could straight up like SANG, and so
everybody could sing. Like anybody could have had the lead and been fine. Like
there was harmonized and do that, and so I think that they. Like I always forget the name of it, but what's the myth when they fly too close to the sun and you get burned?
Icarus.
Like Icarus. Kind of like them. Like they just got a little too close to the sun and burned too quickly. I think that's the one I would say. Because a lot of the others are still around. Like I was thinking like SWV, they're still around. They've had a tour last year. And so, but In Vogue, that's the one that's like, oh.
So you mentioned who was underrated.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Who's overrated?
I don't think any of them are overrated. I think I'm trying to think to say overrated. No, like I don't think the groups got as much. There's so many of them. Plus, they're competing with Mary J. Blige, Mariah Carey, all the other R&B acts that Luther, like they couldn't get as big as they could have. And Boyz II Men's not overrated. TLC's not overrated. Those are the biggest ones. Jodeci's underrated. Like they didn't really cross over like they could have. Like nowadays they cross over, so I think a lot of them 112 underrated. Jagged Edge, underrated. Drew Hill from the ice cream or the fudge place in Baltimore to selling platinum albums. Like I think they were all underrated. I don't know, I'm biased, but yeah.
Yeah, you're fine. No. you're not wrong. Like we discuss it all the time about like, this album didn't get enough play, or y'all didn't pay attention to this person, or blah blah blah. And so that's not a bad question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that we saying that because specifically 2 of the people said, "Why is All for One even in this bracket?"
Yeah. Well, they probably got an early exit. They got an early exit, you know.
We had PM Dawn in there too, didn't we?
PM Dawn. They had an early exit too. Yeah.
You can see the ones that had an
early exit.
Yeah. Portrait.
Portrait at an early exit.
Here we go again. Yeah.
They're making a comeback though too. Though I saw they trying to do some more shows. I saw them on the Cadillac Chronicles.
Yeah. That's good. Keep them coming.
Why do you think more R&B groups don't tour together? Like we do have a couple of them, but like I feel like there's way more room for some of these groups to tour. Like we could do, you guys do the pretty boys, pretty girls tour. Like
I was actually going to ask something similar to that. Like there in the 90s, it felt like there was so much collaboration, like across labels, everybody was friends. Like we talk about the Big Papa video, or not, One More Chance video, and everybody's in there, right? Yeah. And now, like the shift, it kind of went from partnership to collaboration to competition.
Yeah, I think money, number one, people want to get their share of the money. I think labels trying to hold on to as much control as possible with artists nowadays, so they really are a little wary of competition because labels are kind of in a vulnerable position. I think also, like growing up, Budweiser Superfest, you go there, they have the big shows in St. Louis, you'd be at Busch Stadium, fill up the whole stadium on a tour.
Listen, we talk about the Budweiser Superfest.
Concert ended at 5 in the morning.
Yes, 1982. It ended at 5.
Yes, like 10 to 12 acts.
Yeah, Stevie ain't go on till 5 in the morning. It's a whole it's a whole thing.
So I think back then the money wasn't as good. So they were more apt to do it. Nowadays it's different because instead of getting paid, you might see them do Jingle Ball, but they don't get much money for that. They get radio airplay. So I think that it's shifted. I also think that you're starting to see small clues of it's coming back, like Brandy and Monica going on tour together. That's a great sign. You have Usher and Chris Brown going on tour together. That's good. You had New Edition, Boyz II Men, and Toni Braxton. So you're starting to see little clues of it starting to happen again. I don't know if like economically it'll ever make sense to have like 10 or 12 acts on a bill because the money just doesn't money that good. But if you can get 3, maybe 4 acts on a show, like, I think I saw a show, it had Jodeci, New Edition, Charlie Wilson. Like that's a good show. That's a good show. Like you might see the most 4. So I think the economics make it more difficult to have the big shows, but we're starting to see clues of it coming back. So let's pay attention because like you'll see some artists like Zayn, I think from One Direction. His tour had to cancel a lot of dates. Pussycat Dolls, they had to cancel a lot of dates for Blue Dot Fever. However, you know who sold out their tour? You got Usher and Chris Brown. They sold out stadiums. So you see there's a market and a thirst for our R&B groups to be out on tour. You have Mary J. Blige doing a residency here in Vegas. Like that residencies are a little newer, so to speak, for R&B artists and R&B groups, but you're starting to see clues about how it's coming back, which is a good sign to answer your question about touring.
Yeah, nostalgia sells.
Yes.
It always does. Like that's why they reboot movies all the time. It's because nostalgia sells. So that's a huge thing. It's big.
So I have a question for you. We're going to take the 80s and 90s. You had LSG, TGT.
Yes.
But for the 80s, what group of 3 solo artists would you have put together to make the 80s version of LSG and TGT?
Super group.
Super group for the 80s.
From the 80s
now, artists. Keep in mind, they can't be fighting and stuff. You like all those factor those things in of like them actually working well together.
Okay.
Well, now, TGT didn't make it. Like there's the fighting in there.
That's
so
they're still fighting.
They're still fighting.
LSG is the example. I think we just want to use that.
Yeah, okay. Let's LSG then.
Let's LSG.
They're actually the best example because it worked and it worked well. And they were first. They were one of the first ones to do it, kind of in that 90s era. So if we go to the 80s, now are we considering Luther 80s or 90s?
He's 80s. I wouldn't make 80s.
We'll give him 80s.
Okay. A super group. All right, so we're gonna have Luther Vandross.
One female group, one male group.
Okay, we can't mix because I was gonna mix, but we could do that. We could do female male. Okay. So you have Luther, Jeffrey Osborne. Let me think who's the other male is gonna be. Luther, Jeffrey Osborne. You know, I'm thinking here. I'm tempted to put like a George Michael here. Hold on.
Ooh.
I think Luther, Jeffrey Osborne, and George
Careless
Michael.
whisper on these.
yes. So I'm thinking there. I think I want to do that for the females. For the females, we're gonna start with Tina Marie.
Okay.
Who else we got for Angela Bofill?
Oh, snap.
Jazzy.
Oh yeah, and Phyllis Hyman.
Oh yeah.
Ooh. So
yeah,
basically, you made a vanilla wafer on one side, an Oreo on the other side.
Yeah, vanilla. Why vanilla wafer? Because you got one side, you got Jeffrey Osborne. That's the Oreo cookie. Jeffrey Osborne.
Nope.
No,
Hey, this cool ass Scott from the I Love 90s Music Podcast. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like it on the SOLC Network. You finna get all the real deal on the 90s, the 2000s, and the splash of that 80s. Do it right now, man, and I'll be your friend.